The little bunny can just throw all his clothes away, right? The assistant should help me out. Turns out, he's really creating karma to keep his character setup intact. The assistant carefully applies medicine to the prince. He has never seriously observed the little bunny. His body is so skinny yet so attractive, it's hard to look away. Don't let the assistant's age fool you. Once he gets moved, he strikes fast and hard. Earlier, he was applying medicine to the prince and even asked if the bunny was comfortable. The little bunny always feels like something's off with the assistant. Not only does he like close contact, but he also says weird things, especially when the bunny is trying to win him over to complete a mission. But what kind of person is the assistant? He seems to be very self-disciplined. In his eyes, not even a grain of sand can slip through. Maybe the bunny is just overthinking it. The assistant just wants to care. Right now, the assistant leans in closer to the prince, asking what he's thinking about. The little bunny expresses that it's getting late, and the assistant should rest early. He should let the prince take the night watch. The wolves have been chased away, so this place should be safe now. The assistant then says the prince doesn't need to rush. Put on the herbal clothes again. The back is easy to touch, and the little bunny has already dressed himself. He expresses that he's okay. The assistant then says that the prince can't sleep, so he might as well keep him company during the night watch. The little bunny is confused and awkwardly replies, "Sure." So, the two of them sit outside the cave, looking out. The assistant glances at the little bunny, saying the night is cold. If the prince feels chilly, he can sit closer. The little bunny smiles at him, saying, "No worries, I'm really fine." Upon hearing that, the assistant isn't happy. Why isn't he following the script? By late at night, the little bunny really can't stay awake anymore, leaning against the assistant's shoulder. The assistant gently wraps his arms around the bunny's waist. "Prince, why are you rejecting me like this? Are you being stubborn?" The next morning, finally, the prince's aide finds the prince. "I finally found you. I was so worried I couldn't eat for 3 days and 3 nights. The little bunny waves his hand, saying it's nothing, just encountered a pack of wild wolves. Hearing this, the aide gets even more excited. "Wild wolves? Prince, you actually chased away wild wolves? That's so impressive. What happened next? Did anything else happen?" The assistant can't take it anymore. "Young master, the most important thing right now is to leave this place." At this moment, the aide finally reacts. "Right, why am I blaming this old fogey?" The group gets on the carriage to return to the Eastern Palace. Inside the mansion, the assistant is taking a shower. He calls for the butler. Last time it was poison, this time it was a fall into the abyss. These things can't be coincidences. You need to send someone to investigate as soon as possible. First, investigate that horse servant. At the same time, in a small house, a mysterious person is reporting news to the horse servant. "Our people arrived a step too late. The assistant and the prince have been found by the aide." The horse servant angrily knocks over a teapot. "How many times is this now?" The subordinates are scared and quickly kneel down. "Prince, I was negligent in my duties. Please punish me." The horse servant's gaze turns cold. "Get up. I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. If the assistant can't help us, it's time for the Empress to meet me. You take this and a letter and find an opportunity to give it to the Empress when she leaves the palace. At this point, there's no need to hide anymore. It's best to let the prince know of my return. That foolish older brother of mine won't let it go. We'll wait for him to come looking for us." "What about him?" The group is heading back to the Eastern Palace in a carriage. Inside, the Grand Tutor is taking a bath. He calls for the butler. Last time it was a poison dart, and now he fell into a ravine. These incidents are definitely not coincidences. You need to send someone to investigate this as soon as possible. First, look into that servant. At the same time, in a small house, a mysterious person is reporting back to the servant. "Our people arrived just a step too late. The Grand Tutor and the Crown Prince have been found by Wen Yu Chao." The servant angrily knocks over a teapot. "How many times is this now?" The subordinates are scared and quickly kneel down. "Your Highness, I was negligent in my duties. Please punish me." The servant's gaze turns cold. "Get up. I'm giving you a chance to redeem yourself. If the Grand Tutor can't help us, it's time for the Empress to meet me. Take this and a letter, and find a chance to give it to the Empress when she leaves the palace. No need to hide it anymore. It's best to let the Crown Prince know about my return. That foolish older brother of mine definitely won't let it slide. We'll wait for him to come to us. That stupid prince of mine definitely won't let this go. We're just gonna wait for him to figure it out himself." The death road on this side, Bunny's second mission has arrived. This time the task is to stop Ma No and Don Fai from meeting. Hearing that, Bunny felt something was off. According to the story, Ma No and Don Fai will meet later. Right now, everything seems to be speeding up, and the system is scratching its head, responding correctly many times but still doesn't know what to do. Bunny remembers this is the second time already. In the previous little world, the main character also seemed to know the story's content. The system is also frustrated, so let's try to sync up the details one more time. Thanks to Ma No's nature, Donfai and he meet. Meanwhile, the prince's detective also learned about the situation from the information leaked by Ma No. In a hurry to protect the prince's chair, the prince rushed to kill the witnesses. Donfai had already sent people to protect Ma No. In the end, everything was exposed, and the emperor, furious, imprisoned the prince. After the system confirmed that there were no issues with the story code, a detective's voice suddenly rang out, and Bunny panicked. After that, they just had to wait for Ma No to show up and catch him, pretending to hurt him. A few days later, in an abandoned house, Ma No was tied up, looking coldly at Bunny. Bunny laughed loudly, revealing that his long-lost brother was actually him. You can't blame the royal blood flowing in our veins. Since birth, our fate has been set to destroy each other. Then Bunny exhaled, raising the cold sword. Of course, I don't blame you. I'll send you off on your way. At the moment of life and death, Donfai led his bodyguards to break in. Prince, are you crazy? How dare you harm your own loyal servant? Bunny panicked, and you immediately put down the sword. Donfai, don't talk nonsense. I just want to teach this audacious servant a lesson. On this side, Donfai's mouth was like a loudspeaker rapping diss. Bunny couldn't stop, not giving him a chance to interrupt. Donfai ordered the two bodyguards. The prince is harming his loyal servant. Immediately capture him. Bunny waved his hand, feeling a million grievances vanish. The acting was too good, and the result was that he got himself caught in the net. Just then, the Grand Tutor burst in. The prince is the master of the Eastern Palace. How could you easily trample on him? Donfai, you act so recklessly. Do you not see the prince in your eyes? Donfai remained arrogant, asking what the meaning of this was. I saw the prince harm his loyal servant with my own eyes. He must be taken back to the palace. I'll report the whole truth to his majesty. The wise one will make his own judgment. The Grand Tutor shielded the prince, saying if the prince goes astray, I will personally correct him. As for that Ma No, this unclear identity once used poison to harm me and the prince. Not only that, but he also caused the prince to fall into the abyss and go missing. I have found undeniable evidence related to him, and I will report this clearly to his majesty. Hearing this, Donfai couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. The Grand Tutor hugged Bunny, saying, Your Highness, with Cheng Ning here, you don't have to be afraid. Finally, Bunny also learned that Ma No had been reincarnated. At the same time, Ma No didn't understand why the Grand Tutor loved him so much in the previous life, but now, it's you. You can't blame the imperial blood running through our veins. Since birth, our fate has been set for mutual destruction. Then, the little rabbit lets out a breath, raising the cold sword. Of course, I won't blame you. I'll see you off. For a bit. Just at that moment, Duan Fei leads the shadow guards to break in. Crown Prince, are you crazy? How dare you? Kill your own trusted subordinates? Wild Rabbit, put down the sword immediately. Duan Fei, don't talk nonsense. I just want to teach this audacious servant a lesson. Over here, Duan Fei's mouth is like a loudspeaker dishing out a rap diss. The Wild Rabbit doesn't stop, giving no chance to interject. Duan Fei orders the two shadow guards. The Crown Prince is harming his own subordinates. Capture him immediately. The Wild Rabbit waves his hand, feeling a million grievances boiling inside. Such a great performance, yet it ends up trapping himself. Just then, unexpectedly, the Grand Tutor also bursts in. The Crown Prince is the master of the Eastern Palace. How can you easily trample on him? Duan Fei, are you acting on your own, disregarding the Crown Prince? Duan Fei remains proud, saying, What do you mean by that, my lord? I am an upright person. I saw the Crown Prince, harming his own subordinates with my own eyes. He must be taken back to the palace. I will report the whole truth to his majesty. The wise ruler will make his own judgments. The Grand Tutor shields the Crown Prince, saying if the Crown Prince goes astray, I will personally correct him. As for that servant, this unknown identity once used poison to harm me and the Crown Prince. Not only that, but he also caused the Crown Prince to fall into the ravine and go missing. I have found undeniable evidence related to him, and I will also report this matter clearly to his majesty. Hearing this, Duan Fei can't help but break out in a cold sweat. The Grand Tutor hugs the Wild Rabbit, saying, Your Highness, with Cheng Ning here, there's no need to be afraid. Finally, the Wild Rabbit learns about the servant being reborn. At the same time, the servant doesn't understand why the Grand Tutor loved him so much in his past life, and why this life is different. Reborn, huh? At the same time, the dude still doesn't understand why the deputy loved him so much in the past life, and why it's the same in this life. Stand by the prince. That guy belongs to him. But the previous part mentioned the prince being targeted by the maid. The concubine wants to take the prince to frame him in front of the emperor, but the Grand Tutor shows up just in time to protect his wife. At this moment, the Grand Tutor turns to comfort Bunny to reassure him. Your Highness, we don't need to worry about her with Zhuo Ming here. We don't need to fear Comfort Bunny. Hearing this, he's confused. Like, why is the Grand Tutor here? Here, he has no idea about this. And moreover, why does the Grand Tutor know about the maid? It caused you to fall into the abyss, and now the plot is changing. The Grand Tutor responds to the concubine, and he's the one who wins. Obviously, it's the Grand Tutor. And the concubine is so mad she's gritting her teeth. Lord Tai is really something. I'm watching. You're too soft on her, the Grand Tutor sneers. You flatter me too much. I'm just the Grand Tutor. For the prince, of course, I have to protect his highness thoroughly. At this moment, the maid can't keep her cool anymore. No way, this absolutely cannot happen. Grand Tutor, are you under the prince's spell? Clearly, at first, you hated the prince so much there was no cure. But today, why do you want to protect him so much? I, the maid, don't know where I went wrong. Clearly, he has memories from his past life and is one step ahead in planning. Obviously, the Grand Tutor didn't have this in the past life. The Grand Tutor's cold gaze looks at the maid. If the fourth prince is a person, then everyone will change. Like you now, you're no longer the same as when we first met. The maid isn't angry, but starts laughing. I've disappointed you, but did you forget? You originally belonged to me. In the past life, after that foolish prince died. We loved each other so much, but it doesn't matter. Even if right now you love that foolish prince, it doesn't matter. Everything will operate according to the schemes he set. At this moment, Comfort Bunny finally realizes the maid is a reincarnated person. No wonder the plot is developing so fast. He turns to look at the Grand Tutor. Grand Tutor, we don't need to listen to his nonsense anymore. We should go. It seems just like what the maid said. This world will operate according to his wicked schemes. Regardless, even if the prince isn't punished like in the original plot, thanks to the light of the main character. The fourth prince keeps moving forward while the Eastern Palace is in ruins. The entire Eastern Palace, besides Wen Yuchao and the Grand Tutor, no one has come to visit for days. Wen Yuchao unhappily asks, "Aren't you angry? Right now, that maid is stepping on your head and neck. If this continues, I'm afraid you'll be as useless as the rumors say." Comfort Bunny doesn't want to compete at all, even if his mission is to fulfill a role in the story. Being the prince of a feudal dynasty isn't that great. At this moment, the Grand Tutor kicks the door open. Does your highness really think like that? Seeing the Grand Tutor, Comfort Bunny is very happy. But the Grand Tutor is serious, demanding he answer that question. Comfort Bunny sighs. He really isn't interested in power. Hearing this, the Grand Tutor is angry. Over the past few days, I've let you drown in those stories. I thought you had already made up your mind. But now you're telling me that this ignorance is your wish. Then, Comfort Bunny gets lectured by the Grand Tutor again. In fact, Comfort Bunny understands the Grand Tutor's intentions, but he basically isn't. A piece of wood. No matter what, the book has already written it. You have no reason to change the development of the plot. The Grand Tutor got even angrier after hearing this. If the prince feels he can't handle the responsibility, then why should we waste our efforts? Then I, Trung Nin, resign. Hearing this, Ondukyo was also anxious, saying, "My lord, let's talk slowly." He also felt that the prince shouldn't just sit around waiting for death, but the little bunny didn't know what to do next. Finally, the Grand Tutor discovered the true identity of the prince. Turns out, you really are just a little bunny. At this moment, the little bunny was sitting on the bed, hugging his knees, while Tinu brought him snacks, saying they were sent by my lord. The little bunny was a bit confused. Didn't the Grand Tutor resign that day? The maid stammered, saying it was a mistake from the kitchen a few days ago, and they just informed her today. At this point, the little bunny finally understood why Ondukyo thought they were neglecting him and ordered the maid for next time. If the Grand Tutor sends anything, you must inform me immediately. Even though the food has been forgotten for a few days, it still doesn't taste bad. But why, after putting it in my mouth, does it feel a bit itchy? The little bunny suddenly thought of something. Could it be? He jumped up, reaching for his head to check, and even the bunny couldn't stay calm. Then he grew a tail and ears. And there was alcohol in the cake the Grand Tutor sent. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have eaten it. Over here, the maid was already scared to death, her face pale. She panicked and shouted, "Your Highness is possessed by a monster." Then she turned to run, but in a hurry, the little bunny cleverly took off his shoe and threw it at the flustered maid. "What is this?" "This is a bunny's hand and tail I picked up from the hunting trip. If you dare to talk nonsense again, I'll drag you out and beat you 50 times. At this moment, the maid finally lost her mind and ran outside. The two maids guarding outside hurriedly came to ask what happened. That maid recounted that she saw the prince grow bunny ears and a bunny tail, so she thought the prince was a monster. Coincidentally, the Grand Tutor was hiding behind a tree, hearing everything. The little bunny was secretly happy because he didn't have to meet anyone recently. Otherwise, he would be considered a monster. Who would have thought that the next moment a voice calling, "Your Highness," rang out, and the little bunny turned around in confusion. He saw the Grand Tutor looking down at him from above. The little bunny was scared to death. "Grand Tutor, why are you here?" The Grand Tutor expressed that he heard the prince's shout from outside the Eastern Palace, so he came to check it out. After saying that, he reached out to touch the little bunny, but before he could, the little bunny quickly dodged far away. He kept repeating, "Don't come over here." The Grand Tutor frowned at the little bunny's reaction, and the little bunny was also scared out of his wits. The Grand Tutor took a step closer to him, and the little bunny stammered, "What do you want?" He saw the Grand Tutor decisively pull the little bunny's hand back, then touch the little bunny's ears, and with his other hand, he moved to stroke the prince's tail. After confirming, he spoke, "You really are a little bunny." The little bunny thought the Grand Tutor would confirm that and then leave. Unexpectedly, the Grand Tutor leaned in closer and asked, "Is this why you don't want to be the prince?" Hearing this question, the little bunny felt this was indeed a good reason to be a lazy salted fish, so he went with the flow. "The prince, huh?" Hearing this question, the little bunny felt this was indeed a good reason to be a lazy salted fish, so he went with the flow. Poor little ship is sailing towards the vice minister, explaining that if you've seen everything, then I won't hide it anymore. I've turned into a little bunny. How can I take on the responsibility you mentioned? What if one day this gets exposed? How am I supposed to deal with it? The vice minister looks a bit suspicious, asking why you turned into a little bunny, hinting that it's a long story. The vice minister frowns. So is the current prince really a bunny or the original person? This question stuns the little bunny, who then asks the vice minister, "What do you think?" The vice minister says, "Of course, Chengning doesn't like the idea of the prince's body being taken over by a monster, but if it's you, I think it wouldn't be so bad." The little bunny's face turns bright red. Does the vice minister mean what I think he means? No way, no way. Then the two start discussing official matters. Even though the prince isn't interested in the wild affairs, the fourth prince definitely won't let it go. Or should the prince go enjoy life and have fun? That way, the two can execute the plan of the golden cicada shedding its shell, little bunny style. Following the vice minister's arrangement, under the pretense of not sleeping well, he calls the maid Chun Shui to cook a bowl of calming soup for him. Then drink that bowl of soup in front of her, and he'll use another kind of medicine, the kind that can neutralize all poisons. Because Chun Shui has long been bribed by the fourth prince, planning step by step to poison him until the little bunny dies from a sudden illness. Everything is going super smoothly. Everyone thinks the prince suddenly fell seriously ill and died. Meanwhile, the little bunny has already hopped onto the carriage to leave the palace, and the system can't help but praise that you're still so smart. Even though it's a fake death, except for the vice minister, everyone thinks you're really dead, and the mission is still considered a success. Let's wait a bit longer. After the mission is successful, we can head to the next world. The little bunny is confused. We still have to wait? The system is a bit flustered, mainly because my system is at a low level. The previous world had an unexpected incident with Xie Yun Shen, which is why we had to reincarnate. The little bunny sighs. It's so lucky you could leave this world smoothly without any incidents. I wonder what the vice minister is doing now, busy attending your funeral. Oh, luckily his plan has no loopholes. He promptly sent Dong Shui out of the palace to find the antidote for you. At this moment, the little bunny suddenly remembers something's off. Dong Shui, don't you think Dong Shui and Chun Shui look very similar? The system recalls that they do look a bit alike, and the little bunny hurriedly turns the carriage around. We need to go back now. I have to confirm if the vice minister is okay. The system panics at this, but there are only 20 minutes left until we reach the next world. The little bunny grits his teeth. I just want to take a quick look. Just a little is enough. Finally, the little bunny realizes the vice minister is Xie Yun Shen, but unfortunately, he's still a step too late. The little world ends. At this moment, the vice minister is being tied up by someone. Who are you? The maid lifts the vice minister up. Vice minister, did you ever think there would be a day like this? That look of disdain from you feels so strange to me. In the previous life, we clearly loved each other like a match made in heaven. The vice minister coldly snorts. The maid obviously isn't satisfied. I once gave you a chance, but you still... It's Xie Yun Shen, but unfortunately, he's still a step too late. The little world ends, and now the vice minister is being tied up. Who are you? The maid lifts the vice minister up again. Vice minister, did you ever think there would be a day like this? No. That look of disdain from you feels so strange to me. In the previous life, we clearly loved each other like this. A match made in heaven. The vice minister coldly snorts. The maid obviously isn't satisfied. I once gave you a chance, but you still... Next time, turn to Lang Te and ask why you treat me like this. The vice minister gritted his teeth. You always talk about a past life. If I really had a past life with you, I'm afraid it's because I didn't understand you well enough. This line completely infuriated Ma No. If you're being careless, then don't blame me for being unintentional. Ma No's hand started to tighten, and the vice minister felt like he was about to suffocate, but he still smiled as usual. Trong Nin wasn't afraid of death. Ma No laughed heartily. Do you really think that using the golden cicada's escape plan to reach the ends of the earth will let you escape from me, vice minister? Xuan Tuit and Dong Tao are sisters. They were already bought off by me long ago. If you care about him that much, then you two can go together. At this moment, the little rabbit rushed in. Stop! Ma No was shocked to see him. He didn't expect you to come back. The little rabbit tried to mediate. Fourth brother, let the vice minister go. I'll give you anything. Ma No laughed at this. It was like hearing a joke. Lang Te, what qualifications do you have to make demands of me? You right now are like an ant. I can kill you whenever I want. With that, he pulled out a knife and stabbed through the little rabbit's body. The vice minister's heart felt like it was crushed, and the system reminded him that the time had come. At the moment Lang Te fell, he looked up at the vice minister, but it was too late. He seemed to realize that the vice minister was Ta Van Thum, but he had no more time left. You must wait for me. Finally, the little rabbit realized that the vice minister was Ta Van Thum, but unfortunately, he was still one step too late. The little world ended, and at this moment, the vice minister was tied up. Who are you? Ma No lifted the vice minister up. Did you ever think there would be a day like this? That look of disgust from you feels so foreign to me. In our past life, we clearly loved each other as a perfect pair. The vice minister coldly snorted, and Ma No was clearly dissatisfied. I once gave you a chance, but you still repeatedly turned to Lang Te and asked why you treat me like this. The vice minister gritted his teeth. You always talk about a past life. If I really had a past life with you, I'm afraid it's because I didn't understand you well enough. This line completely infuriated Ma No. If you're being careless, then don't blame me for being unintentional. Ma No's hand started to tighten, and the vice minister felt like he was about to suffocate, but he still smiled as usual. Trong Nin wasn't afraid of death. Ma No laughed heartily. Do you really think that using the golden cicada's escape plan to reach the ends of the earth will let you escape from me, vice minister? Xuan Tuit and Dong Thao are sisters. They were already bought off by me long ago. If you care about him that much, then you two can go together. At this moment, the little rabbit rushed in. Stop! Ma No was shocked to see him. He didn't expect you to come back. The little rabbit tried to mediate. Fourth brother, let the vice minister go. I'll give you anything. Ma No laughed at this. It was like hearing a joke. Lang Te, what qualifications do you have to make demands of me? You right now are like an ant. I can kill you whenever I want. With that, he pulled out a knife and stabbed through the little rabbit's body. The little bunny arrives in the third mini-world, which is the beastman era. Even more surprising, there could be up to two Ta Van Thum, one being the righteous protector of peace and the other a big-time gangster. Scared because the previous part mentioned that the little bunny was late. Before time traveling, he discovered that the vice minister was Ta Van Thum. Unfortunately, being late is still being late in this place. It's a beastman world from the beastman era. In the future, the teacher is explaining history. She asks the students, do you know who our speaker today is? The kids excitedly raise their hands to answer. Mom says, he is a great protector. That's right, he is the protector. He is the great hero safeguarding the Federation. The teacher smiles and nods. The kids are right. He is the youngest protector in history. He is also the hero of the Federation. Under his protection, the Federation is more peaceful and beautiful. The teacher points to the side and says, now let's clap to welcome Ta the Protector. As Ta the Protector steps up to the podium, he asks the kids a question. Do you know why I am a beastman? The kids hear the question and start discussing it, saying it's because of a strange big stone that used magic to turn humans into beastmen. Ta the Protector expresses that this little friend is right. 300 years ago, a strange meteorite fell to Earth, causing a huge change for humanity. What they used was not magic, but a type of radiation emitted from that stone. The radiation caused humans to evolve into a second form. Some beastmen were born with this evolved form, but others had to endure painful transformations to succeed. The teachers listening to the Protector's lecture couldn't help but be mesmerized. The Protector is indeed handsome, even 100 times more so than on TV. Outstanding appearance, extraordinary abilities. For such an extraordinary hero, why isn't he married? One teacher retorts. Normally she doesn't follow the news. Ta the Protector's fiancé went missing 7 years ago. Just then, a beastman suddenly bursts in. The kids are scared to death. According to Article 302 of the federal law, if a transformed person appears without separation, creating danger for others, it must be dealt with on the spot. A gunshot rings out, The young talented protector turns into a sharp sword, making others feel both relieved and terrified. Ta the protector orders his team to handle it, while also taking those affected for psychological treatment. On the way, Bin Lin asks him, "Are you going to attend the Countess's auction next?" Ta the protector takes off his gloves and replies, "Let's go." Bin Lin turns back and says, "By the way, there's reliable information that the transformed person eliminated this time was released by Ta Din Xiao." Hearing this, Ta the protector falls silent. Bin Lin can't help but sigh. His superior and that Ta Din Xiao are truly twins. Why, besides their similar appearances, are they so different? One is a righteous protector of peace, and the other is a big-time gangster that people fear. Inside the underground arena, a man with a snake tail is practicing boxing. Next to him, there's a man kneeling. "You are AI. I know that boss from the dark side. If you dare to lay a hand on me, I'll make you die." Suddenly barging in, the kids are scared out of their wits. According to Article 3, Section 2 of the federal law, if someone poses a danger to others, it must be dealt with on the spot. A gunshot rings out. The talented young assassin is like a transformation, a sharp blade. It makes others feel both at ease and terrified. The assassin commander ordered his people to go deal with it, while also taking those affected for psychological treatment. On the way, Bin Lin asked him, "Are you going to participate in the auction of the female countess?" The assassin commander took off his gloves and replied, "Let's go." Bin Lin turned back and said, "Oh, right. There's a reliable source that says the one who was eliminated this time was released by Ta Din Xiao." Hearing this, the assassin commander fell silent. Bin Lin couldn't help but exclaim, "Your superior and that Ta Din Xiao really are like twin brothers. How come besides looking alike they are completely different? One is a righteous protector of justice and peace, while the other is a gangster that makes people scared." Inside the underground arena, a man with a snake tail was practicing boxing. Next to him, a man was kneeling. "Who are you? I know that boss from the Dark Six. If you dare to lay a hand on me, I'll make you die." One is a righteous and peacekeeping chief, and the other is a big-time gangster that everyone fears. Inside the underground fighting arena, a man with a snake tail is training in boxing. Next to him, there's a guy kneeling. "Who are you? I know that big boss from the dark side. If you dare to lay a hand on me, I'll make you regret it." "I'm AI. I know that big boss from the dark side. If you dare to lay a hand on me, I'll make you regret it. Of course, if you let me go, I absolutely won't go to the police to report your illegal activities." The next second, the man was hit, and he smiled lightly at me, saying that the law is just trash. "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm the boss of the Night Green Ta Din Xiao, just transmigrated to this third world. I've been auctioned off and got tangled up in the love-hate relationship of the two male leads in the novel, one of them. One is a beastman revered by everyone, and the other is a snake beastman that scares people. Now, I declare, the last auction item is a beautiful, flawless pearl, one of a kind." The little bunny in this world, after hearing this, was confused. "System, am I in the next world already? Every time I come to a new world, it starts so dramatically." The system hurriedly explained that this is a small world set in the future, where humanity has been affected by radiation and evolved into a second form, beastmen, after several hundred years of continuous struggle between the wolf tribe, snake tribe, and eagle tribe, becoming the three great clans led by the parents of the two male leads, whose union is between the wolf tribe and the snake tribe. So one of them evolved into a wolf man, and the other into a snake man. This world tells the story of love and hatred between the main bottom, who comes from a poor background, and the two male leads. Right now, the story is in the 5th year after the main male lead, Lung Tam Trung, went missing, and he, as a beastman from the rabbit tribe, received a mission from the clan leader to use his appearance, which resembles Lung Tam Trung, to approach the two male leads for the benefit of the clan. The first mission is to appear at the auction, making his first appearance in front of the two brothers of the male leads. The little bunny, after hearing this, couldn't stay calm. He said, "This time there are two male leads?" The system nodded, responding, "That's right, little bunny, do you really want to curse? The difficulty of the mission has increased again, huh? Right before leaving the last world, I seem to have seen Tavan Thum. The system felt that maybe you saw it wrong. Moreover, Tavan Thum can't appear there. On this side, the host has announced that the auction officially begins." Inside, the little bunny wanted to explode in the audience's position. A middle-aged man stroked his beard, evaluating the quality of this little rabbit. Not bad. He just happened to be lacking a servant. Another person said, "Don't you think he looks a bit familiar? It's just that beautiful people often have some similarities." A bald man quickly bid 10,000. The number of bidders kept increasing. 1 million made everyone present freeze. The one raising the sign was none other than Ta Din Van, which made everyone unable to hold back their chatter. Don't you think this auction item looks a lot like Long Tom Trung, who disappeared 5 years ago? The host spoke up. This gentleman bids 1 million. Who wants to bid more? Just as the host was about to close, a voice shouted 5 million. Ta Din Van frowned. Everyone present couldn't stay calm again. What day is it today? Not only did I meet the great police officer, but even the legendary boss of the Night Green appeared. Ta Din Shao sat down beside Ta Din Van, saying, "Long time no see, dear brother." Ta Din Van replied, "You let him go," and he evolved outside. Now he's also appearing. Ta Din Van hadn't seen his beloved brother in a long time. Ta Din Van said he released the one who was transformed and now is out. "So, we're at the auction house, huh? You want to challenge me, Ta Din Shao, the lazy one? Dude, you're always so serious. If it weren't for me, you'd lighten up sometimes, right? If you let loose a bit, how can you show off your amazing skills? Clearly, I'm just trying to do something good here." But Ta Din Van retorts, "Doing something good? You're getting more and more out of control." Ta Din Shao gives a sarcastic glance. Looking at Ta Din Van, it's true. Not only are you out of control, but you can also brawl in front of everyone with a head honcho. At the same time, being stared at by the beastmen and snake men? Like, what kind of experience is that? Of course, I gotta run away fast. But sadly, the little bunny still gets caught by the snake man. Earlier, we talked about the little bunny crossing into the refined beastman world, and now it's being pursued by two guys. They want to take it home, and when the host announces the final price, it's 500 million. Two guys! They step onto the stage together, and Ta Din Shao, super mad, asks, "Where are the bunnies?" The host just looks back, and there's not a single bunny in sight. The little bunny is running for its life before the mission even starts. You only grasp a bit of the plot at first, but as you complete the mission, you sync up with the storyline. Each character in the story is super clear, you know? To avoid the plot and character setups from the novel going off the rails like in other worlds, the little bunny decides to stick to the rules, just like Lady Alice told it to. The original character knew it just had to show up at the auction to grab the attention of the two main guys, then escape from them. But now, where the heck should it run to? Maybe because the original character is just a side character, not that important. The descriptions about it are pretty sparse. The little bunny thinks it over and decides, "Nah, I can only go with the flow for now." Just then, a huge hand reaches out and pulls it in. The other person quickly drags the little bunny into a nearby room. When the little bunny opens its eyes, it discovers that the person in front is one of the two main guys. Ta Din Shao. Why is he here? Did I run the wrong way? Ah, Ta Din Shao smirks and then sticks out his snake-like tongue to lick his lips. The little bunny is freaked out by this series of actions. "What do you want to do?" Ta Din Shao is super sure. He replies, "You're just a fake." The little bunny pretends not to understand his words. "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. Can you let me go? It's really rude of you." Hearing this, Ta Din Shao squints his eyes. "My brother and I both show up at the auction, and I can't believe there are so many coincidences in this world." He uses force to turn the little bunnies back to him. "A fake thinks it can attract my attention?" With that, he reaches out to tease the little bunny's sensitive tail. This time, the little bunny really can't stay calm anymore. "What are you doing? Are you sick or something?" Ta Din Shao grins mischievously. "What can you do?" The little bunny tries to force itself to calm down. It's been through 2 worlds already. There's nothing it hasn't seen. The situation right now is just a plot twist not found in the original. To avoid affecting the following content, the most important thing now is to escape quickly. So, the little bunny reluctantly squeezes out. Currently, this is a plot point that doesn't appear in the original to avoid affecting the subsequent content. So the most important thing right now is to escape quickly, and thus the little rabbit reluctantly squeezed out. A smile directed at Ta Din Shao said, "Sir, please don't joke around anymore. I can see you're definitely a good person. There are many complicated people here. If you do that kind of thing with me, it definitely won't be good for your reputation." Ta Din Shao. Hearing this, he raised an eyebrow and retorted, "Oh, so what you mean is to find somewhere with fewer people, right?" Bunny was at a loss for words. What kind of weird thinking is this? Before Bunny could react, Ta Din Shao's restless hand had already started moving. Bunny ultimately couldn't hold it in anymore. After all, a scared bunny might bite, and he panicked, opening his mouth to bite the opponent's hand, and indeed it hurt. Ta Din Shao reflexively pulled his hand back, and in that moment, Bunny used all his strength to push him away. Bunny quickly opened the door, wanting to escape, but before he could take another step, he bumped into 2 bodyguards blocking the door. The next second, Bunny was roughly pushed down to the floor by Ta Din Shao. "Wanna run? Did you not hear that before entering the auction I hate being deceived the most? This time Bunny was really scared. He could only see Tadin Chao's face darkening to a frightening degree as he spoke each word in a low voice. You deceived me and still think you can run away, cutting off all ties. Bunny retorted. When did I deceive you? Since the day I was born, my appearance has been like this. Am I deceiving you from my genes? Ta Din Chao tightened his grip on Bunny's neck. Don't think I don't know your schemes with Countess Alice, in a terrifying tone, saying each word. You tricked me and still dream of escaping, cutting off all ties. The little rabbit retorted. When did I trick you? Since I was born, I've looked like this. Do you think I was deceiving you from my genes? Ta Din Chao tightened his grip on the little rabbit's neck. Don't think I don't know your schemes with Countess Alice. The bunny retorts. When did I ever trick you? I've looked like this since I was born. Are you saying I was born to deceive you? Ta Ding Shao tightens his grip on the bunny's neck. Don't think I don't know your schemes with Countess Alice. Did you really trick him? Ta Din Shao is squeezing the little bunny's neck. Don't think I don't know your schemes with Countess Alice. You should never use that royal demeanor to flaunt yourself on stage. You're not worthy. Bunny felt that this person was too petty. He hadn't even done anything, and he asked Ta Din Chao what he really wanted. Ta Din Chao looked down at Bunny's body and said, You will pay the price for daring to offend me. I'm not a good person. In the end, Bunny finally understood what the price he had to pay was, looking at the beautiful face full of tears of the person beneath Ta Din Chao. This person is really petty. You haven't done anything yet, and you're already asking Ta Din Chao what he wants? Ta Din Chao looked down at the little rabbit's body and said, You will pay for daring to insult me. I'm not a good person. In the end, the little rabbit finally understood what the price he had to pay was, looking at the beautiful tear-streaked face of the person beneath Ta Din Chao. How's that? Ta Din Chao looks down at the bunny's body and says, You will pay for daring to insult me. I'm not a good person. Eventually, the bunny realizes what the price is, looking at the beautiful tear-streaked face of the person beneath Ta Din Chao. Not a good person at all. In the end, the little bunny finally understands what price he has to pay, looking at the beautiful face of the person beneath Ta Din Chao, filled with tears. He murmured softly, I miss you so much. Come back to my side soon. On the other side, a soldier was reporting the situation to Ta Din Van. The chief inspector had checked all the rooms here and found no trace of the young man. But there was one room that Ta Din Chao's people were guarding, not allowing us to enter and inspect. Hearing this, Ta Din Van paused. How long has he been in there? The soldier replied, Here, I didn't find any trace of that teenager. But there was a room being guarded by Ta Din Chao's people, not allowing us to check. Hearing this, Ta Din Van paused. How long had he been in there? The soldier replied, holding us back from checking. Hearing this, Ta Ding Van pauses. How long has he been in there? The soldier replies, It's been over an hour. Upon hearing this answer, Ta Din Van's expression immediately darkened. Bunny had become the item being watched by the snake beastman and the wolf beastman, truly escaping from the mouth of the snake only to fall into the hands of the wolf. Earlier, it was mentioned that Bunny was captured by the snake beastman and locked in a room, bullied terribly. At the same time, Ta Din Van finally realized something was off. His rational mind told him that the one being auctioned on stage could not possibly be the one he cared about. Moreover, not only that, this whole thing had fallen into the hands of wolves. Previously, it mentioned the little rabbit being captured by the snake beastman and locked in a room, bullied terribly. At the same time, Ta Din Van finally realized the abnormality. His rational mind told him that the one being sold, it's a disaster. At the same time, Ta Din Van finally realizes something's off. His instincts tell him that the person he sold definitely had someone behind it orchestrating. But if he didn't personally verify it, his heart wouldn't be at ease. Ta Din Van sent someone to monitor Ta Din Chao's side, and anything that happened must be reported quickly. At this moment, definitely had someone behind the scenes orchestrating it, but if he didn't personally confirm it, his heart wouldn't be at ease. Ta Din Van sent someone to monitor Ta Din Chao's side, and whatever happened must be reported quickly. At this moment, can't be at ease. Ta Din Van sends someone to monitor Ta Din Chao. If anything happens, they must report back quickly. At this moment, inside the room, Bunny had no strength left at all.